Hi, I'm Kylie, just another Army vet. Welcome to another reaction video. So today is my part 2 reaction to the Beer Biceps podcast with Colonel Rajeev. Let's get to it.
Let's talk a little bit more about combat situations.
Yeah,
because
please.
that's how the podcast began.
Yeah.
And I have many more questions.
Please ask many more questions and I'll be answering all of them one by one.
Talk about a grenade, sir. Like what?
Useless weapon.
You think?
Useless thing. Absolutely.
Why
totally
do you,
useless.
Why do you feel so?
Again, Murphy's Law. My experience is, you use it 10 times and it'll go, only one or twice.
How, raw question again, rookie raw question, how big is a grenade explosion?
Okay, it can be, you can temper with this thing. What kind of explosion you want. For example, you throw a grenade, it will have a certain impact, There are certain fuses in terms of seconds. You want grenade to explode in what fraction of seconds? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, what second?
So you set
So
it.
accordingly, you take out the pen. Yeah. Okay. That is one. Second, it is very sensitive in nature. My experience is you throw it and it never goes off at the time. Okay. And it is not something which you actually very much used in routine. We used to always carry as per the seklai. Two you carry in this pouches, you carry in this pouches. But very rarely you get a chance to use it actually. And it doesn't go off, then it is a blind. When you need to dispose of later on, you need to dispose it off. Ab usko dispose off karne, you can't leave it blind. It will go and harm some, animal or anyone who is passing.
Okay,
so you need to take care of that thing to rule out any possibility.
Gotcha.
For those of you who don't know a lot about grenades, there's actually many different kinds of grenades, including, for example, flashbangs.
To avoid any unforeseen contingency, you need to dispose it off. So what do? You place some cordex, detonator, and aap lagaoge saath mein, and so that it is blown off. If there is a detonator, cordex, and I do some digging and put it in the ground, the impact will be double. If I tie a knot in the cordex, and 2 knots, impact will be even more. So you can change certain things. It is part of your training. But grenade, I don't consider. I'm never been fascinated. I'm sure 100%. You ask any army personnel, they say, sir, this is one weapon. I can do away with it. Not that you're not comfortable. We don't find it very effective.
How big is the explosion? Or how strong is the explosion?
See, for any weapon, there is a template. Template means every weapon has been designed in a manner that it has got a killing zone. There is an effect. It will go only up to a meter or diameter or circumference of this area. Anything. When you are thrown it, so the splinter will go only up to this area and cause a damage. Beyond that area, if you are standing and it will not reach you also.
It's roughly about 2 meters?
It depends in terms of distance. It also depends on the angle. May not even be 2 meters or maybe 3 meters also. There are a lot of factors which comes into play.
But when you are training someone to be in a combat situation with a grenade, what is the training given to that person? Like in what situations are they supposed to use it?
Okay.
So when I went to Army basic training, we did actually train with grenades. We got to do a grenade assault course, and we actually got to throw a live grenade, which is a whole lot of fun. But other than that, though, I have almost no experiences with grenades, so I don't really have an opinion on if grenades are really effective or not.
You can use it when somebody is hiding in a situation, in an open ground, but on the other side of the cliff or something.
Okay.
Where yes, you can throw it and can cause damage. That is one. Second, for the bunker clearance, you are getting like in Kargil and other places you have seen, when somebody is taking a pinpoint shot and causing a heavy damage to the troops, and all you see is a loophole. That is one area you can actually cause damage to the enemy. But I give you today, we have got better options. Weapon like AGL, pinpoint precision.
What is that?
AGL is automatic grenade launcher.
Okay.
It has got a tripod, so a lot of stability. Then it has got a lot of ammunition is inside a box. You set the target. There are instruments. You set the target, and you can send up to even a distance of many meters, 800 meters, 900 meters. You set that alignment there. It is so damn effective and precise. I tell you, even in a small box of 1 feet by 1 feet, or even lesser than that, it'll go pinpoint shot into that bunker from such a distance.
It's like a grenade gun. Basically.
It's a grenade gun, yeah. You can say in layman language, grenade gun. But it is so very sophisticated, even the mosquito comes in between. After it had traveled that prime distance and it gets primed and it'll go off. But very effective. So why to use grenade when you can use from a large distance?
Is it the same as like a bazooka in some ways?
No, I'll show you the picture. I'll explain
Okay.
it to you what it looks like and how it works.
Is there something like a bazooka or missile launchers that
No. See, okay.
No, I'm not talking
You
about
see this
you.
tripod of yours? It is something. It has got a tripod.
Got it.
2 legs in the front, 1 in the back, and then it is very simple. You see a huge muzzle, and then certain instrument where you do the calculation, do the settings, and there is a cord. You pull the lever, and all you need to do, you don't even have to look at the target. No, you just have a rough look. Once you've done the setting, and you just press the button, you feel nothing, and very smooth. It goes and hit the target.
If somebody knows the U.S. military equivalent to this weapon, then please drop it in the comments. But I've never heard of this weapon before. It kind of sounds like it's an upgraded version of a Mark 19, though. A Mark 19 is an automatic grenade launcher that the U.S. military uses, and it also sits in a tripod. I've actually gotten to fire it a couple times, and it is a lot of fun. However, I do remember it does take some effort to get your grenade onto the target, so it sounds like the Indian Army version may just be a little more technologically advanced.
Parallelly,
Yeah.
like, does the Indian military today also use, like, again, I'm just trying to get a better understanding of the weaponry used, because as civilians, our only information about weapons comes from video games, pretty much, like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, these kind of games, where there are bazookas, there are missile launchers, there are flamethrowers. Are these kind of weapons a
See,
part of
all kind of
the-
weapons are there. It is
Okay.
only as per the requirement as per the operational requirement and the role and nature and employment of the forces. Like RR will be heavy oriented toward a particular weapon. For specific reasons, I'm not naming the weapon.
Okay.
SF has got a special requirement. They operate in small teams. Whether it is communication, they need to be in lightweight, long range, and the weapon. When you're
RR, I'm assuming he means Rashtriya Rifles.
going in a fighting in a built-up area, I always prefer to carry a pistol. The houses are there, small rooms, and if you carry a big weapon and you think you will do wonders, the moment you enter, somebody will catch from the muzzle only and take care of you. Smaller weapon, it gives me more swiftness, but then it is very difficult to take a shot from the pistol from a close distance also.
So I don't completely remember, but I think it was Israel who actually developed this close quarter combat rifle that's about half the length of a normal rifle. If I can remember the name of the weapon or remember what video I saw it in, then I'll put that on the screen for you guys.
Quarters.
Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of jerk you get when you fire. Accuracy is less. It gives you the moment, and even if you hold with 2 hands, a lot of practice. It gives you a lot of jerk. Take other weapon, and then like AK-47, it comes with a butt. It comes with a folded butt. You take support on your shoulder. That gives you a lot of stability. Your shoulder is holding it from here. You're holding it from the front, and you take a pen shot. So apna comfort zone hai. Like in close quarters, I always use pistol. And when you're going to say ops, and it is a little open kind of area, the preference was AK-47, 56. So every unit has got a weapon profile. There is in organization, it has been clearly stated what all weapons and equipments are authorized to a particular unit. So every unit has got an authorization set, and they use those weapons.
Foreign militaries, the American military or the British military, are the weapons that they use significantly better than the Indian military? Because what I have understood about the Indian military is that we're Jugadu's even there, and like we kind of alter weapons to make them better.
Jugadu?
That's a very limited understanding, but that's what I have understood. Am I right in saying that the Indian military is a lot about engineering better weapons?
I don't know whether it is the correct answer to your question, but definitely I would like to make one statement. Weapon, equipment, communication profile, whatever it may be. But the biggest brand and the best brand in the entire world is Indian Army. I'm damn clear on this. We are the only force, history has been testimony, our soldiers are the only potent and the capable soldiers who can actually fight a battle and are just surviving on water, jaggery, and muthi bhar chana.
Jaggery.
No other
What's that?
soldier is capable to do these wonders. Ours can. They've done it number of times.
Endurance.
Endurance, mental or physical, the emotions they work with. No soldier, our soldiers are unparalleled. They are amazing. No requirement, nothing. In the name of the country, people don't even think about their families when it comes to actually duty. I had realized I had gone through one instance myself. Oh, Parakram, people were berserk. Tomorrow, bloody, we'll do this. Emotions, we are soldiers, I'm telling you. Nobody knows their potential. Galwan, you must have seen a young boy, Khalsa, bloody fell down from this thing, again came back tied his turban, again taken by a number of people, and but he had their happiness. And when the body was taken, the mother is carrying the body of that soldier. Where do you get mothers like this? Weapon profile, I told you, and it keep on changing. Men, it is always the men behind the machine. Our boys are the best. No doubt about it.
I would just like to ask you a little bit about what airborne even means. People don't understand these words, so like it kind of took me some time to even understand exactly what Special Forces and Para SF is. And we had a lot of Para SF personnel on the show. So I'd like you to kind of give us this essay from wherever you wish to start.
Okay. I'll give you only an outline for this
Sure.
because of the specific reasons. Airborne force, as the name suggests, only something which operates in the air, from the air. Airborne. The working methodology, the reach, the penetration is absolutely unparalleled. In airborne unit, you will find people who are capable. Every single guy is capable to come out of the aircraft at the speed of 600 with complete loaded with the weapon and everything. Others unit might not have that luxury. There might be some people who are qualified to do combat free fall, military free fall, or the static line jumps. But in airborne, every man who is walking on the ground is capable of jumping, irrespective of the terrain. Airborne are those forces, and you must have seen one example. You have seen airborne operations happening in Russia-Ukraine conflict. Thousands of the parachute opening up in the air in one go. Whether thereafter it is your logistics, it is your weapons, it is your equipment, everything is dropped down through air. It requires a lot of tremendous practice. More than anything, you require a lot of zigra and a strong heart to do this thing. You can be told to operate in jungles. It can be urban area. It can be absolutely God forbidden zone, high altitude area, snow covered peaks, anywhere and everywhere. You can do. Every man will jump. That is airborne forces. Otherwise, operation aspect you ask, there are a hell lot of things. Again, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. But why is there?
So whenever an airborne unit actually jumps, they actually expect a certain amount of casualties that will either get killed or injured. And because of that, airborne units are going to be larger than their non-airborne counterparts. At least that's how the U.S. Army operates. Is it the same with the Indian Army?
There a specific force for this? And my assumption before this particular episode was that Para SF would take care of all this because they have Para in their name as well. So I didn't know that there was a separate force until we did research on this episode.
See, Para has got a specific role. The weapon profile and equipment profile is different. Special forces again have got a mandatory charter of duty, and they operate in their own functionality in small team. They carry out specific operations. And recon surveillance is their forte. When it comes to airborne, this is something generally not to be spoken. Least known, the better, the kind of a thing. But fair to say ki the penetration is absolutely amazing. It is said in our fraternity ki we don't exist so that you can. So that is how it is.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Are you comfortable talking a little bit about maybe a very difficult operation you had? Not in detail, but if you could just give us a brief outline, maybe the kind of terrain you've had to encounter.
Yes, I can.
I'm assuming that, say, if you're landing in a thick jungle, it could be dangerous because you don't have a clean landing spot.
Yeah. See, there are two kind of things. Of course, when you do operations, normally what people do, they count on a certain percentage. That is called the casualty rate. When you're jumping from the aircraft, probably so many people will probably not make it.
That's a part.
That's part of the.
That's an understanding that you might die.
See, has to.
That's what I was just talking about, a casualty rate just from jumping.
Mathematics has to be pure calculations, If we go for a match of football, the 11th is the strength of the team. You require one reserve for the goalkeeper as well as you require few reserves as a player in the defense in the forward line. Same way, if you're planning out any operation, be it any unit for that matter, RR, SF, airborne, anything, there has to be a parameter for the selection. There has to be a parameter for working out the strength. So if you're walking, for example, if you're jumping in a jungle, if you're jumping into a high altitude area, what do you think? Every guy is successfully coming to the ground. He might not get a clear landing zone. He might just go and hit himself into the mountain. He's crashed, he's dead. So you work on a certain percentage, and believe me, that percentage is the highest in airborne operations. So if you take some figure and you discount a heavy number of them, they're not going to make it. Lucky are those who even come to the ground. And those set of people, now they have to do the job for the balance of the guys also. It's not that easy. There have been operation. Giving you there was an operation we landed up, and as per the input and everything, it was about 3-hour journey to that location. Believe me, it took 36 hours. 36 hours. Because what you see in the map, but the actual conditions, what you see on the ground, are damn very different. 36 hours. A lot of people, they got exhausted. A couple of them, they got dehydrated. Water was over. There was muddy water. That was the only choice, and it was tasty. Because we were thirsty, we enjoyed it. And there were a lot of anticipation that we'll face leeches and other thing. Salt and everything got washed away in the river in Nala when we crossed. There was not even a place where even one guy could stop. We had to cut it, make the route, and then go there. After 36 hours, we landed up and do the wiping up and cleaning up. But 36 hours is a hell lot of time. And then you need to, 18 hours going one way and then 18 hours coming back. But once you've done the task, then the motivation level is very high. Then the distance, the route, degree of difficulty, is on a very low scale. You're happy you did it.
So the survival aspect was very difficult in this operation.
That instinct for survival itself is a great motivation here, There's more situation like they say in commandos, mushkil waqt commando sakt. It cannot happen other way around. Mushkil waqt and commando past. It cannot happen that way. And that feeling, that you need to go back home. I always used to tell my people, even if it is an operation, whether it is with the unit or Apna Assam Rifles or the unit I commanded in Special Forces Airborne, 10 men are going, all 10 will come back. That feeling always there. I always used to tell them, 10 are going, all 10 will come back. Even if one guy is not going to make it, believe me, that will be me. But you will come back. I'll ensure this. Thereafter, what I had seen, they always used to ensure. They used to look after me. Just take care of yourself. Don't take care of yourself. Take care of the guy who's on to your left, your right, and your front and back. You will be very safe. Eventually, there are 4 guys who were taking care of you from all the corners. There was no issue only.
What is the criteria for selection for airborne?
Again, like I said, first you have to volunteer and then you have to be willing. In any other unit, you can be posted as a commanding officer. I got a letter. I got a call from the MS. They said, "Sir, are you volunteer?" Marga, why are you asking that question even to me? They said, "Sir, because we can't post you there unless you confirm to me. Just hold on." So I immediately replied back to him the SMS ki refer our ongoing conversation. I written in capital, bold and underline. I am volunteer and I'm willing. But now, see, you got the message? Like, yes, sir. I'm in. So you need to be voluntary and willing. And then you need to undergo that probation and then you need to do your para course. Once you're done with this, you qualify, then you are there. And at any point in time, somebody says, "No, sir, this I find difficult, I can't do." Please, you're not welcome there. Then you go back.
Are there physical traits that are preferred?
No, there are no physical traits which are endorsed on the paper, but you need to prove everything on the ground. On paper, there might be 20 odd list. Maybe people are not even having 2 of them. So on paper, we don't believe. Everything is on ground. You prove your worth on ground and you are acceptable.
Correct. Does every jump change you?
Yes, every jump is a new jump. Every combat experience, the contact is a new experience. Even within one jump, I tell you, like for example, when you are in the aircraft, there are 3 examples I can quote. 1, you are standing in the front. This is 1. Second, there is a trail of 41 guys, 42 guys, 21 on each side. Then you are in the center, and then you are in the last of the strike. One column which is sitting on the either side is called as a strike. So the mind makeup and psyche is different with every position also. What to talk about other jumps? As a commanding officer, if I'm in this front and I'm taking the first jump, that is generally the norm we used to follow. As a battalion commander, you will be the first one to exit the aircraft. The moment you are out of the aircraft, because there are 3 lights, red, blue, red, yellow and green. Same as traffic light. It gives you a signal.
See, he is a good leader. I really do like his mindset. It's the same mindset that Colonel Hal Moore had in We Were Soldiers. As a commander, you're the first person off the aircraft.
And the moment it is green on, go. The moment that light is on, you can't even take a fraction of second to delay it. Why? Because there is an area which is marked on the ground, which is known as dropping zone. Calculating the wind factor, the height, the speed of the aircraft going at a 600 kilometers, the weight and other things, the kind
The
of
wind.
parachute you are using. The moment you exit, you are going to come back within that zone. So you will have a relatively better area. If you take even the difference between the jumps, it is even less than 0.7 up now of the second. It is the speed of go, 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 go. That is the speed. People don't even jump out of the bus from that at that speed. So if I'm the first one and if I take 0.7 extra also, two things are for sure. Firstly, I'll lose that respect. People will say, bloody, he got scared. I can't afford that luxury as a battalion commander. You are out means you're out in that moment. Second, I know it is going to cost somebody life, those 0.7 seconds. If I delayed it, he probably is going out of that DZ. That is one. But, that freedom is there. No one is in front of me. I can take a command and you're out. But when somebody is in the center, now that time when you see people are going and एक आगे वाला थोड़ा सा आगे पीछे कहीं हो जाता है, your entire biorhythm get disrupted.
That's happened?
No, not with me. I always used to be the first one to jump. I love that thing. Now there is a guy who is in the last. Imagine there are 20 guys and they had already jumped out of the aircraft and you see he has got some distance to cover. Now he's running inside the aircraft and there he goes out. His psyche is different. Every jump is a different. Once it had so happened, people had jumped. We had done with our jump. We were down. Last 3 guys in order of stick and it was a night jump. And one possibility which has never been discussed, it never happened in the history, it is highly not anticipated. And it happened. The cord on which, it was a static jump, on which cord was there and it went off.
What?
See, in aircraft, where you're sitting, when you're jumping with a static jump is something when you have got a parachute, there is a cord attached to a parachute. And the hook is on a cable, which is in the aircraft. So that cable got broken because when you jump, there's a particular distance it goes and then the cord is taken out of the aircraft. So from the parachute, it gets deployed. But in this case, just cord mein wo lagta hai, that cord itself got broken. Now, because of this, what had happened, the 3 guys, they just slipped silently out of the aircraft. And they were under this false sense of this thing. Now the cord will get unbroken and my parachute will get deployed. It never happened.
It didn't open.
It didn't open at all. It was just 10 seconds at the max, 11 seconds, not even 10 seconds. They just touched the ground. Coming from thousands of feet, it was around 1450 was the feet height. They touched the ground and when we went to see them, they were exactly in the same training which had been taught to them. They had made a position, their legs were folded in a particular fashion. That is called para position. They were in that position. They had followed the teaching to the last breath. They were in that position and parachute was not there.
All 3 of them.
All 3 passed away. The fear factor sets in. But see, this is all about the mindset. This is how special forces, airborne units, they work. One way to look at this thing, okay, you give the condolences, feel bad about it and just let it go. Second thing was every boot which was there on the ground was made to fall in there. They were given new fresh parachute. Aircrafts were deployed. They were told to board the aircraft. You went in the air and jumped at the same night. So that same night, before the bodies were moved from there, everybody fucker will jump out of the aircraft. And rightly so. Why? Because once you don't do this thing, the fear factor, it becomes a gossip. Something went wrong. It can happen. No. Once you're done with this ritual, then people are this thing, things happens. It happens. It is a part and parcel of this job and these are professional adjuncts. This is not the first time it has happened, neither it is going to be last time. Nobody can guarantee. Such things will keep happening, but you can't let it go. That fear factor should not come. It had happened, we just did it again. Nothing happened. So don't worry, chill.
This was a night jump?
It was a night jump.
Oh, that must have been a traumatic experience. I mean, that is just so heartbreaking. But I do understand why they had everyone jump again that night. I mean, if they hadn't, then that fear factor would have set in. But anyway, if you do want to know what it's like to go to airborne school or what it's like to be in an airborne unit, then why don't you check out my reaction to U.S. Army Airborne School and go ahead and watch HBO's Band of Brothers. Once the next part is filmed, I'll put it right here. Thanks for watching.